got Dale Earnhardt Jr. He drives the number 88 Amp Energy National Guard Chevrolet for Indianapolis Motor Sports. And Dale, thanks for coming by. Dale is second in points. He's having a heck of a year. And I know you'd like to win here at the Brickyard. Talk about that.
Yeah, we're coming in here with very high expectations. Coming off what's been one of my best years maybe in my career. So we like coming here, like the history of the racetrack. The history here is just incredible. All the way back to when it was shut down through the war and how they had to renovate the place and bring it back, and just how it was able to survive. A lot of things like that. And here we are racing on it today. It's just incredible. But it's a challenging place. It's one groove, and you kind of fight getting aero tight behind people, and so when you show up for practice kind of what you need out of your car. And we've been working on our car today and hoping that we can get it to doing the things I want it to do and that it needs to do. I feel like when we ended practice, we were pretty happy with how the car was showing speed. The car's not a real dream to drive, but I don't know that even when they're fast, they drive very well. But we like the speed the car has, and for some reason, we had a qualified trim and didn't really put down any good laps that I was happy with. But we'll evaluate that and move forward. But I think the car's got some good speed, race trim, and just hopefully we can have a good start and work on the car, work hard all Sunday, and see where we end up.
Thank you, Dale. We'll take a few questions. We got Ed Hinton, Nate Ryan, Lee Spencer, David Newton. Go ahead, Ed.
Ed Hinton, ESPN.com. Dale, is there anything you can remotely put your finger on about why this track's been pretty tough on you, these 12 appearances, and also do you feel like the way y'all are running this year might translate to better on this racetrack?
I think that it could. I think after coming here, probably maybe had my best finish here in quite a while. I think the reason that I struggle here is because it's one groove, and following people around the racetrack, not being able to get to their bumper because of the aero push. I don't have a lot of patience for that. I like racetracks where I can change my line. You don't have one choice to really run through the corner here, or you don't have a top groove, or you can't really take a bigger arc into the corner or change how you exit. You've kind of got one choice. And everybody has that same limitation, and so you sort of snake around the racetrack without with a challenge of the aero push and everything. It's really difficult to get to people and make when you're talking about running the top 5, everybody's really running the same times, and so I'm just not a patient driver, so I get a little frustrated and end up overdriving my car, and I just can't. When I go to racetracks where I get stuck behind somebody because it's tight, I can move around. Do things that get creative and do things that might help me, might not. But I got in my mind, I feel like I got more freedom. So that's just and that's not a knock on the track. I think it's just some drivers are really smooth, really patient. I'm a bit more brash and and how I drive the car.
Football, 95 when your dad went here. Were you here? And so you weren't here for the win, but what was that like for him and for y'all as a family for him to have a win at this place so early on in this race?
But I remember him talking about before he had won here and how he wanted to be when they first came here to test, he had to be the first guy on the racetrack. It was a bit of a there's a lot of competition between him and Rusty and all the guys to get on the racetrack first. It was all because of the photo opportunity. And the same thing about sitting on the pole for the first race, winning the first race. And when he didn't win the first race, I think that disappointed him. And so he expected to come here and win the first race at his track. And I knew it meant a lot to him when he did eventually win here because, you know, he knew that I think he was, you know, on the backside of his career, that, you know, and certainly wasn't staring at, you know, 15 more years, and knew that the opportunities would be limited coming here once a year. And it meant a lot to him to get win.
Let's go Nate Ryan, Lee Spencer, and David Newton. Nate?
Nate Ryan, USA Dale, given all that, given the family history, given that you just talked about that you're cognizant of how special this place is in terms of historical value, is it extra frustrating that there has been that lack of success for you here, knowing this is a place that sort of cements drivers' reputations and you haven't really had that?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I don't really feel as frustrated about my performance here, I think, as one might think. You know, I remember, you know, some cars that I had here were pretty good, and I thought we had a good car last year, and we got a whole bunch of grass on the grill and had to come in, lost a lot of track position, and just fought all day long to get that back, and then Juan hit the fence in front of us and decided to rage quit the race and ran into the side of my car going to the pit lane. So it was a little bit of a rough day, but I thought we gave good speed, you know, and I look at the positives. I don't come here thinking, I've never been able to get my finger on this place. I feel like I know how to get around here. I just, you know, looking for the right balance in the car and just having a good, you know, putting together a good race. And that's not, you know, that's something we've been able to do this year, and something I've improved on. I think the team improved on some leading races and put together full events. You know, not having a good, you know, first half and then you know, disappearing. We've been able to finish races and do well, even when we haven't been the best car. So I hope we'll continue that here. You know, this track lends itself to Pocono, where I felt like we were really strong. And you know, from what I saw today, I thought the car had good speed, where I thought we were top 5, top 10 car easy.
We'll go Lee, Lee, David Newton, Chuck Howard.
Lee Spencer, Fox Sports. You talked a little bit earlier about patience. Steve Letarte, as laid back as he is, has that kind of helped you with your patience, because he's not going to be yelling at you on the radio, and he's going to be more, I guess, supportive, comforting. That voice is going to be more reassuring rather than, you know, feeding into that impatience.
Yep. That's definitely true. To use an example, today in practice, the car, we put scuffs on it, and you know, I've seen some guys change tires, and I've seen them go out and make some laps, and they had stickers on, and we put on scuffs, and we went out, and we were about 2-3 tenths slower than the guys that were putting on stickers, and I was disappointed in that. And so, you know, they were, you know, TJ and saying the laps I was running were pretty good, and I was snapping back that I didn't think they were good at all, and I was getting frustrated. And probably 5 years ago, I would have sort of destroyed the morale of the whole group. You know, I would have changed the mood in the entire garage with that kind of attitude, and I would just continue to get frustrated and sabotage the whole practice session. But with Steve, you know, I just kind of wait, you know, and I wait on him to sort of evaluate the situation, and you know, then we put on stickers and went out and ran what I thought we should be running. And so I was getting upset, you know, in the past, I think, for the wrong reasons. But he's definitely brought more structure and got me a lot more focused, I think, especially during the practices. That's when you got, you know, that's when you got to make hay during practice.
Let's go with David Newton, Chuck, and then Marty Smith, and then we'll see where we are then.
Yeah, David Newton, ESPN.com. But Dale, your new commercial with Bank is coming out today, I believe.
Nationwide?
Yeah. Where does that rank on? What do you think of it, and where does that rank on your favorite commercials you've ever done?
Well, I like the commercials that we do with Nationwide. They're some of my favorites. I'm a little more. I appreciate the sincere ones a bit more. You know, we talk about the lack of shareholders and stuff like that. We're talking about the nuts and bolts of their organization and what they're about. Because I feel like that's me, more genuine and more sincere. The funny stuff, I don't think I'm a very good comedian. So I don't really, I do what they say, and we make a commercial, but the steer stuff and the stuff where we really get down to it is what I like doing.
Go ahead, Chuck.
Chuck Howard, NASCAR Media Group Jr. You alluded to it, your confidence level in Pocono. It sounds like regardless of what happens tomorrow and coming off, you've got 3 straight top 10s at Pocono. With the repave, your last run there, do you feel you've got as good a shot or you have as much confidence as you've ever had heading to Pocono?
Yeah, I really haven't had a good strong run at Pocono in a long time, and I feel like we had a great car there last time. And so definitely looking forward to going back there. I think I think the whole field will be a little bit stronger than it was. It'll be a bit tougher, but I know we had some good speed. Really looking forward to it. This place is a bit of an anomaly. The corners are similar to some other places in the sport, but whether we run good or struggle, I wouldn't take too much away from it, because the place is so much different than other tracks we're going to run the rest of the year.
We'll go Marty Smith and then with Steve Richards.
Marty Smith, ESPN. Dale, four here is this magical number. 4 wins with the people that did it. Mears, Foy, Unser, on Jeff. What kind of accomplishment is that historically to be in that group of names accomplishing that here?
4 wins.
4 big
4 wins here is incredible. Anywhere really is incredible. There's, anytime you look at stats and statistics at racetracks and you see it's a rare group of guys that are making stats like that, and it's always Jeff or Bernard or Yarborough or somebody like that. Never any surprises in those kind of statistics. But it just says I think what it says is it solidifies your greatness, your talent level, puts you in elite company. Speaks for itself, really.
Final question, Steve.
Steve Richards, the PRN. Are you going to the Michigan tire test?
I don't really know.
Even if you go or not, are you afraid they're going to find something that will take any advantage you had away?
Nah, I don't think that. I thought that the change in tire during the week was really going to be our downfall, and we still ended up winning the race. So I'm not really worried about the tire that they choose. That tire that they gave us, I think, was really extreme, and anything, I don't see them going any harder than that tire. I think going softer was just better for me, but if we end up running the same tire, fine with me, whatever. I don't think that the tire really have much difference in how the race or how teams run or how competitive teams are. Everybody has the same tire. If you give me a softer tire, I might run faster than everybody else, but if everybody has the same tire, I think my confidence is still the same going in that race. I don't particularly want to do that tire test, for the record. I think of other places that we need to work on,
We'll work on that for you, Dale. Thanks for coming in. Good luck this weekend.